Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, depending on where you're catching with us from, depending on where you're watching us from today. I hope that you are doing well. For those who are watching us for the very first time, my name is Claire, and today I'm just coming along because we are on 100 days of hydration challenge. Doesn't that seem like madness? 100 days? Did I say 100 days? Yes, we are doing a challenge and we are encouraging ourselves to do 100 days where we are basically ensuring that we are hydrated so that we are drinking at least a minimum of 2 liters. Water, 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 water everywhere. And yet there are people who are still dehydrated. Water, 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 water everywhere. And yet there are people today who will be in hospital or who will end up maybe even having serious health consequences simply because of dehydration. What has happened? What has gone wrong? That's why we are not hydrated people, but we are dehydrated people. It's simply because one of the things that I've realized, I have been privileged enough to have encounters with people from various walks of life because of the nature of my job. And I met with people that all that they do in a day is drink fizzy drinks. I know somebody that throughout their lives, they were only consuming Coke every single day, and that was it. But then if you're looking at all these, first of all, if you're looking at the fizzy drinks, they are loaded with sugar, they are loaded with calories, they are loaded with artificial sweeteners. And those artificial sweeteners, of course, do have as well their health impacts. They can affect you because nobody knows things like the accumulative effect of those additives. And so you might want to ask yourself, just like today, if you take a reflection on your day, it's the end of the day, it's the evening where I am at the moment, and reflecting and thinking like, how much water have I drunk? Of course, I've drunk other fluids as well, and this is like kind of just going to try to finish this before hopefully I finish this stream tonight. And just to remind you that at the end of the day, hydration is something that is very key. Hydration is something that is important, yet very much really neglected. I had a conversation earlier on with my sister, and we were talking a little bit about just this whole challenge because she's doing the challenge with me, which is really encouraging. And we are talking about the fact that sometimes people can see that drinking water, it does seem natural to some people, and if that is you, well done. But for some people, it can be a little bit more challenging, and they find like just drinking water a little bit boring, maybe, or a little bit dry, or too much demanding, or we get too busy, I don't want to drink because I forget. All those are legit reasons why people end up not drinking enough. But then if you try to think about the benefits that water has or hydration has on your body, number one thing is try to think about your skin. One thing that we know is that the human body, quite a big chunk of it, over 60% of an adult's body is basically made up of water. And so if you're made up of water, it just makes sense that you need to literally replenish that water so that you constantly are hydrated. And in particular, you find that for some of us who are really active, like myself, I try to run whenever I have opportunities. We tend to lose water weight. We tend to kind of in a way sweat that out. And if you're sweating it out at the end of the day, you end up having you've lost water that needs to be replenished. But sometimes you just can't say, well, I got so busy that I forgot to drink. But then if you're forgetting to drink, sometimes we even end up confusing our bodies and we'll say like, gosh, I was feeling hungry, when in actual sense you're not actually hungry, you're just thirsty, and you respond to your thirst cues by reaching out, grabbing a banana, which is okay because it's a fruit, or grabbing cookie or whatever it is to try and satisfy something that actually drinking can satisfy. And that's why we are challenging ourselves and saying, like, for the next couple of days, we are today on day 4. We want to encourage and challenge ourselves and say every single day, we will be taking account to ensure that we are drinking a minimum of 2 liters. And so for me, because I know I've mentioned the water, the body is made up of water. Water is good for the skin. I tend to kind of break out if I'm not drinking enough. I tend to have puffy eyes if I'm not drinking enough, because when our bodies go through the various biochemical reactions or different processes in the body, they actually can result in the production of waste, and that waste needs to be eliminated from our bodies, and that's why we go for a poo. But if you're not having enough water to be able to eliminate that, you're actually just straining your body to be able to get rid of all this. And so sometimes you find that if you're going to wee, some people end up with extremely dark wee. That's a symptom that you are not drinking enough. Sometimes people end up with things like constipation simply because they're not drinking enough, and so they cannot be able to get rid of the waste from their body. Don't get me wrong, it's not just because you're not drinking enough that's why you have constipation, but constipation can also be that you are not having enough fiber. But sometimes I've realized, like from let's say my little boy, every time we've had issues with constipation is literally because he's not been drinking enough. So it gets to a point that the stool cannot be lubricated enough or moistened enough to allow him to be able to let it go. And so those are some of the things that can actually impact people. We need that to eliminate those toxins. We need to eliminate the urea that is broken down from the protein that we eat in our bodies. We need to be able to kind of, in a way, replenish what we're losing. And so that's why you need that water. You need that water to be replenished. You need that water to be brought back into the body. The other thing as well, when you're thinking about water, if you're kind of trying to lose weight, it can be a really good and easy way, because I usually say you have this amount of stomach that you have. It's not bigger or smaller. It does extend, yes, but it doesn't grow overnight. So if you're drinking, it means that you're filling your tummy with fluids. There's a chance that your body will not be responding at that moment. It wants you to be able to eat. And so that can be an easy hack, particularly for those people who want to lose some weight. You can actually start by just drinking a little bit more. Water has zero calories, because it's of course something that it has got different elements in it, but it has very little, 0 calories. So if you're drinking 2-3 liters of water in a day, at the end of it all, you're literally flushing out toxins from the body, but you're not putting in extra calories. But now, caveat. That's why if you're thinking about hydration, I want to try and use hydration rather than drinking of water. Is, of course, once you drink enough, you get hydrated rather than dehydrated. I prefer to talk about this as trying to encourage you to drink more water, because some people can say, I want to get hydrated, so I'm going to have an opportunity to drink more, and so I can drink anything. And because I'm running this challenge, which is happening in a Facebook group, I had a very interesting question today from somebody, or yesterday, not today, who was asking about energy drinks, saying that we are on this challenge. Can I actually drink energy drinks? And I said, well, it's a little bit tricky question, because if you're looking at energy drinks, at the end of the day, they will be loaded with things like sugar. They can be loaded with a lot of caffeine, because they need to give you the stimulation that you need. And on top of that, they can easily have additives in them. And we know the additives can actually have health impacts on them. And so if you're drinking something that is very concentrated, literally you're putting more pressure on your body to try and process it out, rather than trying to encourage yourself to become more healthy. And so if you are desiring, or you want to maybe be on the challenge and you're thinking about, should I drink energy drinks, I think the best will be to stay away. Or if you must, then limit it, do it in moderation, because that's something that can actually play against your hydration desires. And then the other thing, of course, you can drink coffees and teas. But the thing I said in the when we were pre-launching this challenge, I said, if you're drinking, maybe try to go for herbal teas, try to go for black coffee, because at the end of it all, you don't want to load yourself a lot with so much calories. And those are the calories that can actually become an issue. And I usually say to myself, I do not want to drink calories. I eat my calories. I don't drink my calories. And so that's something that I look at, like even now with this challenge, I'm looking at it and saying, Claire, you need to ensure that you are fueling yourself, but also you are kind of in a way hydrating yourself with the right source, with the right kind of fluid, so that at the end of it all, you don't end up in issues. So just to recap this, we're doing this hydration challenge for 100 days. We are done with 4. We still have 96 days to go. Just want this to become another habit, another lifestyle, and try to avoid anything that is fizzy drinks, try to avoid sugary drinks, try to avoid alcohol. Of course, alcohol is can easily have other health issues and impacts, and just try to go for water. And if you find it a little bit boring, put in a little bit of squash, put in a little bit of lemon juice, or put it a little bit, you can do, like, for example, teas, herbal teas, mint tea, peppermint tea. That can be really good. And just stay hydrated. Every time you're taking a break, drink. If you're sitting down and you have, like I said the other time, you can even set a timer for yourself and say, every time I'm standing up to take a 5 minutes break, it will be a hydration break. And so today I want to bring this to an end, just to remind you, if you're still wanting to join us, this is happening on Facebook. I will I'll put the link in the description box. Feel free to join us, because we are closing the doors on Sunday midnight, because from next week we will be doing a different thing. We are mainly concentrating on hydration, but in between the hydration, we are also looking at other things. So next week we will be combining hydration with something else every single week, shifting it or changing it, so like kind of in a way spicing it up, so we're just not looking at only hydration for 100 days, but hopefully by those 100 days, if you are desiring to lose weight because of the regimes and because of the lifestyle things that we're talking about, maybe that will have become a reality. I'm still continuing on with my intermittent fasting. I haven't stopped that. So today is day 39 of my intermittent fasting, which is something, again, I'm combining with this water challenge. And those are things that definitely will result in positive health outcomes. And so these are just a quick kind of touch points to just say, I'm touching base with you guys. We're running this challenge. If you see, like, I'm posting shorts or putting out on my community something to do with the challenges, it's because we are running a water or hydration challenge. Join us. Let's get hydrated together. I hope that you have a good evening. Thank you so much for all of you who continue to subscribe, those who continue to like, those who continue to share this content. If you haven't done so, why not consider clicking that like button, that sharing, or that subscription button? And don't forget to turn on the notification so that you're reminded when we upload, or we kind of have a new content going out. And we continue to thank you so much for the continuous support that you give us. My prayer for you tonight is that you will richly be blessed. You will know the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And I pray that above everything, you will prosper and be in good health, even as your souls prosper. And I pray you have a great evening, knowing that you're highly loved, favored, and appreciated. God bless you. Have a good evening and take care. Bye-bye.